Hello children, I'm meeting you all with this discussion for the second question. This is a mix of algebra equations and factorization. We will do this question, and also please remember this is from the first term. So if you can't remember these things, if you can't remember any of the stuff that I'm talking about today, take this as the starting point of your revision and start working towards this. As you all know, your third term test will be due by November-December period. So please start studying. Let's get into the question. So the very first question is, if the length of a rectangle is 4x plus 3 and the breadth is 3x minus 2, the area of the rectangle in terms of a quadratic function of 3 terms. So it's easy to understand the question, and there is a rectangle of which the length is actually 4x plus 3 and the width is mentioned as 3x minus 2. So they are asking you an expression for the area of this rectangle. So as you all know, area of any rectangle, doesn't matter what they have given, area equals to length into breadth, and in this case 4x plus 3 into 3x minus 2. But whenever you are using expressions, make sure you cover them with brackets. And also, since it's a multiplication, you don't need the multiplication symbol. You can simply write it as 4x plus 3 into 3x minus 2. So this is not the final answer, because they have said you have to leave it as a quadratic function of 3 terms. So you have to simplify this and keep it in 3 terms. There are lots of ways to simplify. I will tell you the shortest way we usually use. What you can do is multiply both these numbers by the first number here. That means by 4x, multiply these 2 terms. Then after doing that, multiply these 2 terms by the next number here, that is plus 3. You have to multiply both of them by plus 3. Let's see how that works out. So 4x into 3x, 4 into 3 becomes 12, x into x becomes x squared, and 4x into minus 2 becomes minus 8x. The signs are very important. Plus 3 into 3x becomes plus 9x. Plus 3 into minus 2 becomes minus 6. Again, don't forget to simplify. There are no like terms for this. There are no like terms for this. But these two, when you are adding, if the signs are different, you put the sign of the larger number and you subtract the two numbers. 9x and 8x, if you subtract, it's 1x. But because it is 1x, you can leave it as x. If you put 1 here also, that is not a problem. So that is the answer. So that's the answer for the first part of the question. Now let's move to the second part of the question. So the second part says, find 99 squared using your knowledge of binomial squares. Actually, you multiply 99 by 99, you will find the answer for this question, but you will not get marks, because they have very clearly said using your knowledge in binomial squares. There is a very simple thing you have studied in binomial squares, which you all quite a lot forget. Let me revise you that quickly and fastly and get into that. In binomial squares, you have studied that whenever you have a bracket which gets squared, that means whenever you have a binomial which you get squared. For an example, say you have a plus b squared, or you can have a minus b squared. These are known as binomial squares. That is, 2 terms are added and getting squared. Here 2 terms are subtracted and getting squared. So whenever you see this, what you have to understand is there is a shortcut. You can multiply this again by a plus b and get the answer, but you also should know the shortcut. The shortcut is, take the first term here, a, square it and write. So that would be a squared. Take the second term here, that is plus b, square it and write. Plus b into plus b is plus b squared. The middle term is what you all forget. There is a middle term also. Don't think a plus b squared is a squared plus b squared. That's wrong. Instead of that, what you have to do is, you have to multiply these two and multiply them by 2 and put it in the middle. Multiply these two, a into plus b is plus ab. Multiply it again by 2, always by 2, double it. So plus ab into 2, in the middle it should be plus 2ab. So similarly here also, a becomes a squared, minus b into minus b, you all might think it's minus b squared, but remember, minus into minus is plus, so minus b into minus b is plus b squared. And in the middle, a into minus b, minus ab, minus ab when you double it, minus 2ab. So this is something you have actually studied in grade 10 first term. Even though it's a longer lesson, I told it in the shortest way I can explain. So this knowledge is what we are going to use to find the 99 squared thing. So how do we do that? We are going to take 99 squared, and first of all we need a binomial, right? So we need two terms. So you all should agree 99 can be easily written as 100 minus 1. Both are the same. So if you want to find 99 squared, you can also find 100 minus 1 squared. Both should give you the same results. But when you write it this way, you can see it resembles this a minus b squared a lot. So you can do the same thing what I taught you over here. So that is the first term gets squared. So that is going to be 100 squared. Let's do the calculation later. Minus 1 into minus 1 will be plus 1 or plus 1 squared. And you have to multiply these two and double it. 100 into minus 1 minus 100. Minus 100 into 2 minus 200. Now do the calculation. So that would be 100 into 100 is 10,000 minus 200 plus 1. So that would give you finally 9,801. So this working must be shown in order to get the full marks for this question. Doing like this will also give you 9,801, but since the question says using the knowledge of binomial squares, this is the perfect answer. Hope you all understood that. Let's move on to the third part of this question now. So the third part is also related to this binomial squares thing. It says x plus y is equal to 7. Very popular question in term test actually. Xy equals to 17 and a half, and x squared plus y squared has to be found out. So when you see this question, whenever you see something similar to this question, what do you have to do is take the expression which they have given as x plus y or x minus y first. Now let's take x plus y first, and without thinking of anything else, put a pair of brackets around it, square it, and expand it in the way I showed you earlier, and write it down. Now x plus y whole thing squared, when you expand it just like here, it would be x squared plus 2xy plus y squared. Then after that, see what are the values you can substitute. Now you see they have said x plus y is 7. So instead of this x plus y, you can include 7 here. X squared we don't know. 2xy, which means 2 times, they have said xy is 17 and a half. So you can put 17 and a half here plus y squared. 7 squared is going to be 49. X squared is there. I'm going to keep the plus y squared also closer because that's what we are trying to find. And 2 times 17 and a half. You can use fractions and find out the answer, but if you know that 17 and a half is 17.5, you know when you multiply 17.5 by 2, you will easily end up with 35. I'm not going to show you the calculation there because it's fractions, not something we have to discuss in grade 10. Also I told you the shortcut, 17.5 into 2 is 35. Then you take the plus 35 to the other side of the equation, gives you 49 minus 35, and you end up with 14 as the final answer. That's it. You don't have to find x, you don't have to find y, that's all. So that's the third part, and we are moving to the last one, third one. This question is a super good question to revise all your forgotten things about factors and binomial expressions in grade 10 first term. Please start studying these things, your exams are coming soon. So let's go for this one. 12x squared minus x minus 6. So this is something which is hard for some of the students, not some, actually most of the students. So when you get a factorization like this, a quadratic trinomial factorization, first of all focus on these two numbers, the coefficient of x squared, which is 12, and the constant term, which is minus 6. So multiply those two and put it on the side. So that will be 12 into minus 6, that is actually minus 72. Now break this into two numbers such that when you multiply those two numbers, you should get minus 72, and when you add those two numbers, you should get the coefficient of x. What do you mean by the coefficient of x is, children? The number in front of x here, but as you can see, there is no number. But if there is no number, you know you have to assume it as 1. So since it is minus 1, we have to find two numbers. When you multiply, you should get minus 72, and when you add, you should get minus 1. If you think a little bit carefully, you will figure out that those two numbers are none other than minus 9 and plus 8. When you multiply minus 72, when you add minus 1. So you take those two numbers and come back here, and instead of this minus 1, you write this minus 1x as minus 9x plus 8x, same thing. And the remaining stuff, that is 12x squared, remains as it is, minus 6 remains as it is. Now you take the common factor from here, 12 and 9, the common factor is 3, x squared and x common factor is x, so that gives you 4x minus 3, and in here the common factor is actually 2, and when you take it out you again get 4x minus 3, and that's when you can notice something really nice, that here also you have 4x minus 3, and here also you have 4x minus 3, which means 4x minus 3 is now a common 4x minus 3 is now a common factor. So you take 4x minus 3 out, and then the remaining two numbers 3x plus 2 come here. That's what you call as a quadratic trinomial factorization. Since the earlier part was not visible, children, I took it to the middle of the screen. So again reminding you, once I found the two numbers, what I did is I took the common factor of these two, that is 3x. So 12 divided by 3, 4x, and minus 9x divided by 3x is minus 3. Similarly, I took the common factor of 2 out. When I divided this by 2, I got 4x minus 3. Then you can see 4x minus 3 now becomes a common factor. So I pulled that out. Once I take 4x minus 3, I'm remaining with 3x. From here, when I take 4x minus 3, I'm remaining with plus 2. And that's how you complete the quadratic factorization. And I hope you all enjoyed this question, children. Also, a small heads up, since our first group for Maths 2021 Maths Club is over, full, that there are almost 250 students, we have started batch 2. There also already we have about another 100 students, but I want more and more people to come and get the benefit of this. So if any of your friends want to join, please drop me a message to my number, which will be available on the screen, so I can send you the link for the second batch. Please invite all your friends so they also can get the benefit of these free revision questions. Bye children, thank you for watching.